one dunk for good measure. It was just so lovely. We'll get you a polo. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty. Hi, gorgeous. Bye, Doris. Hello. Oh, hello. He's just following us. Come on.
Look at the sunflowers.
You coming with us? That's our cat now. Oh my god, it's following us, Mom. So my mom and I have decided to do a nice little weekend away at a Yorkshire bed and breakfast, and we got to see Doris the horse, and we met the world's nicest cat, and now we're kind of walking to Fountains Abbey, which you can walk to from the property, and we're walking past like a beautiful lake and on land, and we agreed this is a very Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice kind of day, so we're just gonna enjoy ourselves and have a chill, slow weekend with reading, tea, maybe some antiques shopping. We'll see. We are walking from the bed and breakfast and then to Fountains Abbey / Studley Royal Deer Park. And then from here, we're going to walk to the Studley Roger Village. And from there, there's a footpath to Ripon. So I think it's just it's like 2.5 miles maybe. But we're just taking our time, enjoying it. It's so beautiful. So I read online, well my cousin told me, and then I confirmed online, that the difference between gargoyles and grotesques is that grotesques are just decorative, whereas gargoyles have their mouths open. It's to aid in drainage, but also I was told they poured oil in the mouths and like set it on fire to stop it from being besieged, but I think there requires further research to confirm that narrative. But it would make sense because it says gargoyle and it's got oil in it, so I don't know. Either way, they're fun, they're pretty. I don't know what it is about these kinds of trees, but no, I do know what it is. It's in the 2005 Pride and Prejudice, the beginning shot where she walks through the misty morning with her book heading home, and you see all these beautiful trees, and that old one is a peak Pride and Prejudice tree in my heart and soul. It's days like this in the UK that reminds us why we moved back here, why we love it so much.
So true. Stunning.
It really is. And it's got a deer on it for the Studley Royal Deer Park. How cute. I just feel so lucky to live in a part of the world as beautiful as this, and that was just so magical to see the deer. I'm so pleased that I got that video of that one braying. That was truly breathtaking, wasn't it, Mom?
Truly, yeah, that's magnificent creatures.
It felt kind of like some of them were posing, which Mom was saying, like, that goes to show how safe they must feel. But they were just standing, and there were a lot of people with long lens cameras, so this is clearly a fun Saturday early morning activity. It goes to show that if you take the slower route sometimes, you never know what you'll find. It was wonderful. I was telling Mom the story about this. It was about a 2-minute long story, and I did not hit record. Oh my god, I didn't record that. So, part 2, I'm just going to keep looking, but I've rehearsed it now. This was one of the first UNESCO World Heritage Sites, inscribed in 1986 or 87. Well, one of the first in the UK, I mean. And it is the Studley Deer Park, which we're in currently, Fountains Abbey, and the Studley Royal Water Park, which is one of the most spectacular water parks in the country. It is these 3 things that have gained it UNESCO recognition. So the Fountains Abbey was constructed in, I believe, the 1300s, so that the York monks could, well, it was a sect of the York monks, and they thought that the city monks were a little too wild, rough and ready, so they decided to retreat to the countryside for more, spiritual reform. In 1500, that's when the dissolution of abbeys, I think that's the proper phrase, I'm not sure, but anyways, Henry VIII came through, destroyed all of the abbeys and monasteries, and left it in ruins, basically. And then a family bought the property and created a Jacobean estate from bricks from the abbey, in part, in the 1600s, roughly, I think. So it's in that Jacobean kind of like dark style. And then the Ainsleby family bought the land in like the 1700s during the Georgian period to create this fantastic water garden, using the view of the ruins of Fountains Abbey as their pièce de résistance. And as I was saying to Mom, some people just have a koi pond, but they had a ruined abbey. So you can understand why it got World Heritage recognition. And it's not just that it brings more tourists to the area, but they're also required to create a conservation plan so that the site can be protected, money can be used to keep it to such a high standard, and it can be enjoyed for years to come. How was it?
Really good.
Not shareable?
That's shareable.
Okay.
Yes, I want to stay here.
Very peaceful, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Prepare yourself.
That's amazing. So I need to buy that.
I'm buying you this.
Thank you. These are the most amazing birthday cards I have ever seen. have a spellbinding birthday. That's so cute. Oh, they have so many beautiful editions of books. Like, I like the Chiltern ones a lot. And then they've obviously got my favorites, the Penguin Cloth bound.
I love this kind of thing.
Oh, me too. They have ones of, I think, Pride and Prejudice. I'm not 100% sure, but I think in my future home, that's what I'm going to have. A gallery wall with a few of those. Like a huge collection of the vintage classics that I haven't seen. Like, I've never seen the vintage classic of the Joy Luck Club before. That's really cool.
Called Your Guide to Not Getting Murdered in a Quaint English Village.
We definitely need that for our quaint English village. What is it you found? That is amazing.
Rue Waterhouse art.
So I figured I would, once we got back to the bed and breakfast, I would give you a little book haul of the books that I got from the Little Ripon Bookshop. It was such a sweet little bookshop. Like, I don't know if you could hear in the audio. There were birds chirping when you went into one of the rooms. And we didn't go into the kids section, but the guy at the store was saying in the kids section, if you walk past like this nautical themed books, you hear kind of like the whoosh of a ship on the ocean, which was just so cute. Such cute little touches. It's the kind of thing you don't get in a big chain bookshop. So, the first book I got on my haul, I had no idea was even out or even a thing. I really liked How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie, and I saw that they had this book called What a Way to Go. And I don't think it follows that story of How to Kill Your Family. It's more of like a Succession, like the TV show, a Succession kind of thing. And I also haven't seen the TV show, but I know the premise of it is like a really wealthy family and they're all squabbling over the huge family inheritance after someone passes away. So the back says, a shocking death, an inheritance at stake, a morally bankrupt family, and a true crime obsessive on the hunt for fame. That's the first one. It'll be good for a little spooky autumn. And the next one I saw advertised on Penguin's social medias, the Marigold Mind Laundry by Jungin Yoon. And so it's basically like a cozy, magical story that happens in a laundromat. I don't know much beyond that, but the cover just really drew me in immediately. So I'm excited about that. So the first one by Bella Mackie was signed by the author, which is pretty cool. I love how a lot of independents, kind of to set themselves apart, they do get signed by the author copies. So the next one I got was The Instrumentalist, which I'd seen online, but I hadn't heard much talked about. And then I was just so sold by the beautiful sprayed edges and then the end papers as well. Plus it was signed by the author, which you love to see. This is Venice, I believe. So it's basically about a girl who becomes a kind of violinist prodigy of Vivaldi. And that is about all I know about this book. I don't tend to go in knowing a ton. I know the vibes, and I know that people recommended it or liked it, so that's enough for me, really. And then finally, this is the only nonfiction in the haul. Why Am I Like This by Gemma Stiles, the sister of Harry Styles, but she has a really great podcast called Good Influence. That she hasn't done for a little while, but I really love that podcast. And this is about kind of, I believe, her journey with anxiety and ADHD and kind of like it's a survival guide sort of thing. So yeah, I thought this would be a nice nonfiction to read. So that's, and then my mom got a few things. She got me one book that I'm particularly excited about. It is The Bookshop Tours of Britain. So I think I've probably checked off quite a number off of this list, but I think it'll be such a cool one to inspire future trips and just get to see different parts of the country. So that was my haul. So as you can see, we have a really beautiful view of the farm. We have the garden view, and then you can see Doris, the star of the show. We forgot to get her polo mints, and I do feel desperately bad about it. But when my dad comes to pick us up, we will ask him to bring some for our beloved friend. It's cute. Yeah, a little hobbit hole for the rain shelter. Hello, it's been a few days since... Hello, Percy, you want up? Come on up. Oh, you've got a lot of things to say. As I was saying... Oh, he's not finished. He has a lot of important ideas. As I was saying, it's been a couple of days since staying at the bed and breakfast, and although I talked about reading books, I don't think I actually really showed anything on camera of reading. So I was on like page 40 when we arrived, of Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood, and I'm now like halfway through. I'm pleased with the progress I've made. I'm on page 200 of 404, so yeah, basically exactly halfway through. I wasn't really sure because she's a book influencer, I believe, but I've not seen her content. But I saw another YouTuber, Darling Desi, talk about this book, and I was like, oh, that sounds really cute. Sometimes with influencers, you don't know which way it's going to go, like if it's going to be really good or if it's just kind of like a PR move. But I'm thoroughly enjoying this book. It is so cute. It's about this woman who's just about to turn 30. Her name is Belle, and she is a witch. She doesn't really use her powers that much. She uses it more for like making herself tea and finding the perfect book because, oh yes, she works in a bookshop. Her boss has decided to kind of retire and leaves a lot of the bookstore Lunar Books in control of her son. He works in finance, and so he kind of is taking out everything that is charming about this place because it may not on paper be making a lot of money, but adds to the overall ambiance. So her life is becoming a little bit difficult, and she doesn't realize that on her 30th birthday, which is just a few days away, she needs to prove to her coven that she is a worthwhile witch and that she's using her powers in a productive and responsible way. It turns out that the coven expects you to use your magic for a little bit more than just making tea and giving book recommendations, no matter how fire they might be. She joins teams with this elderly wizard to learn about how to use it more responsibly and in a bigger way. I think there's a lot of commentary in here about, you know, being yourself and loving yourself, and, you know, you might not be everybody's cup of tea, but your coven, like your people, will show themselves, and you just need to be fully yourself because those are the people that are going to love you for who you are. It's been a really good read so far. It's super cozy. And there's like who I presume to be the main love interest. His name's Rune, and he's giving Hosier vibes, as if Hosier was in the Matrix. Like, he's very tall and he's got long hair and he's kind of mysterious and sarcastic. But yeah, he seems like a sweet character, and I really like Belle. She speaks to my bookworm heart. And she has a little familiar cat named Jinx. Give me an animal familiar and I am strapped in for the duration. Anyways, before I get back to reading, or the reading portion of this vlog, I'm going to make myself a cup of hot chocolate because my parents just got a hot chocolate velvetizer from Hotel Chocolat, so we'll go do that now. So, a slight change of plans. We cannot find the pods for the velvetizer, so that'll have to be a fun adventure for another day. However, I'm very excited. I went to Whittard's a couple weeks back and I got their spiced pumpkin chai, loose leaf black tea. It's so good. It's like not too strong. I do love pumpkin spice, but I think sometimes I like the idea of pumpkin spice more than the actuality. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of it. It's just so delicious. So I made my, oh hello darling. Hello Whip. I've made my tea. I've got my pup. I've got my beautiful cozy candle going on. I'm gonna turn on some cozy ambiance on the TV. My favorites are like autumn, rain, fireplace with like a little bit of jazz music in the background. I'm not the kind of person that can listen to music I know very well, or like music with words, so because then I get too focused on that. So we're just gonna cozy on in, have a nice little evening, probably take Percy for a walk in a little bit, a lovely autumnal walk with my boots and on crunchy leaves. It's gonna be fabulous. Just cozy on in, make yourself a hot beverage, whether that's a hot chocolate or a spiced chai. Let this be inspiration for you to pick up that next great read. I haven't made a ton of progress, just like one chapter forward, because I had some dinner. But before it gets too dark out, I want to take Percy for a little walk. So come join us on our evening stroll. It's a little bit rainy, but not super, but I think that kind of adds to the atmosphere. Okay, so it is significantly later. I was gonna just go for my walk, and then I got sucked into watching a movie. The movie She Said, it's got Carey Mulligan in it. A dramatized version of the reporters from the New York Times about the Harvey Weinstein case. It was really good. I could not stop watching it. It was really upsetting what happened, so bear that in mind if you decide to watch it, but it was just, oh, it was such a good movie. I'd highly recommend it. Now that I'm gonna get back to reading and it's like after 8 p.m, I have to sacrifice aesthetics. I can't do the cute skirt and the cup of tea now. It is Udi time. It is my Diet Coke time, and let's crack back into this puppy. But before we do, I wanted to share a line from this book that kind of just encapsulates the coziness that it is. This one elderly character, they are my favorite already. They've not been in a huge amount, but I adore them. Would like jump in front of a train for them. Also, I'm obsessed with this bookmark. It's a cat paw. It's so cute. Anyways, move the books out of your way. There are a lot of them in this house. The pages provide the most golden company when one feels the pestering tap of loneliness. Like, it's just those kinds of lines that I think that Lucy Jane Wood did such a fabulous job on. I absolutely love this. It gives off, I'm trying to think like what it gives off similar vibes to. It does not have the same plot in any way as Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, but it gives me that same feeling of cozy comfort, and I think it comes from first of all, like, an appreciation for the cozy and like desserts and that sort of thing, but more than that, it gives you that kind of like feeling of safety, feeling of nostalgia almost for that, this kind of fantasy, and more than that, just cozy community. There's a lot of love that you can feel from the pages of this book, and it's just so lovely. It's the whimsy as well. Like, this is whimsical as heck. There's a part where Belle animates an overcoat, and a character starts waltzing with the overcoat during a little snack break. It's just so delightful. Now I'm done yapping. So I've read about 60 pages since we last spoke, and I know that I'm hooked because it's past my bedtime and I'm tired and I'm like, I want to keep reading. So I brewed myself a cup of tea and I got myself some cookies because you can't have tea without cookies. And I'm going to read a little bit more, not too much more because I do have work tomorrow and I will regret everything if I don't go to bed soon. But I'll just update quickly. Like, the love interest, it's on point. Like, I love when there's a romance and the characters have their own actually important life things going on, because that's a bit of real life, really. I don't like it when it's the main focus, so I love the little romance that's going on. I love the inclusion of an Irish wolfhound because I love big dogs. What else am I really enjoying? The words I'd use to describe it: whimsical, cozy, just fun. It's just such a sweet book. Like, I have that 5-star feeling. Again, that's kind of indicative of the fact that I don't want to go to bed yet. I just want to keep reading. So I think this one, it's perfect for like leading up to Halloween. It's one that I feel like I'm going to read like multiple times, which is really good. So yeah, I highly recommend reading it, and I will get back to reading and snacking on my cookies. One dunk for good measure. Good morning! How I know a book is good is if I wake up earlier than my alarm and I decide to wake up, get ready for the day so I can start reading. Oh, so good. So I've already gotten ready and taken little Percy Pie for a walk, as you'll have seen. So I think I'm going to make a little bit of breakfast, and then I have time before work to go to a cafe and read. I'm trying to decide if I want to get it to go and read and drink my coffee outside, but it is a bit chilly, so to be determined. It depends how much time I have in between. If I'm not going to be outside for a super long time, then I'll drink outside. You'll see. So yeah, meet you at the cafe. Pretty kitty. So I'm on my lunch break. I've ate it really, really quickly so I can get back to reading, which is, again, such a good sign. I won't stop saying that. So you can see my bookmark. I have only like 25 pages left. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it on my break, but I think we'll get a good chunk done, just a few pages left. Plot twists, half expected, half not. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on reading. I'll be very honest, I did not get very far reading Rewitched during lunch, and I was like, I'll get home and I'll read it immediately. But then I just ended up having a nice chill little movie watch. I didn't actually watch the whole movie, I kind of just scrolled on my phone, but in the company of others, and I think sometimes companionable scrolling is just what the soul ordered, you know? And if Percy starts acting hyperactive, it's because I induced zoomies. I started making weird poses and noises at him, and then I wonder why he's not a very well-behaved dog. Anyways, I brewed a fresh cup of tea, which means I need to dunk some cookies in it. Just to be clear, this is my third or fourth video, so nobody knows me except my friends who follow this account. Hello, darlings. I don't always eat cookies with my tea, but I think the October cool is like tapped into the berry hunter-gatherer in me that's like, you need to consume more berries, it's getting cold out, but instead of berries, it's just high-calorie cookies. That was just so lovely. Such a sweet book. I think it's definitely like a 4.75 or a 5-star. Look, it's not War and Peace or some impressively written book, but I think things don't have to be like a magnum opus or like something that's super culturally important to be worthwhile. I think things that can spark joy are very worthwhile, and that's what this did. It sparked all kinds of joy. It was just so sweet and cozy, and her like descriptive narrative, she's really tapped into the cozy verbiage, so to speak. Like coffee and baked goods and warm scarves, as well as like the comfort of community and kind of a found family sort of situation. It's a very nostalgic kind of book. Like, although it's very clearly set in present day, there's not a huge amount of modern technology being mentioned, so it feels like it could be set in the past as well as like in the future, so I think it'll age well in terms of that. I would highly recommend. I think I'm gonna change it to 5 stars. I think it's a 5-star read. It seemed like there was room for a sequel or something. I'd be perfectly happy to have a sequel. I would equally be happy if there wasn't a sequel and this was just a standalone and just see what else Lucy Jane Wood kind of creates, whether it's this universe or just a completely different concept. I'd say if you enjoy cozy, quiet narratives, kind of low stakes, like I know the stakes were kind of high stakes, but it felt kind of low stakes, similarly to Legends and Lattes, that kind of ambiance. If you like that, I would recommend this one a lot. It makes me want to read, is it Bookshops and Bone Dust? Or Bone Dust and Bookshops? I forget. I have that. It's the prequel to Legends and Lattes. And I don't know if I want to read that next or if I want to go in a completely other like direction. I do have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and I read it in high school, didn't love it, listened to the audiobook of it a couple of years ago, and I found it really annoying. And so it's like, hey Alexandra, why are you reading a book that has twice proven that you didn't enjoy it? Well, academic validation is very important to me, and even though I'm long out of academics, well, not that long, but like out of academics, I need to read this book and potentially try and like it. I think the thing that most annoyed me is I don't really necessarily jive with unlikable like main characters or unlikable narratives, and I think that there's a place for those stories. Those are equally important. The people that like those kinds of stories are absolutely valid. I feel like I would be a hotter version of myself if I liked like the unlikable narrator and like protagonist kind of, but alas, that is not me. But I do think something can be enjoyed of the fact that Mary Shelley was like inventing the horror genre. I shall read where the wind takes me. That is it really for this vlog. thank you so much for joining me as I travel around Yorkshire. Well, I didn't do a ton of traveling, but like the little staycation to Yorkshire, and then reading vlog of Rewitched, even though you only saw kind of like the latter half of me reading it, and gushing about it. If you read this book or have read this book, please let me know what you think. I genuinely want to know what you thought about it. If there are any books that you feel are similar to this that you would like to recommend, drop it down below. And I'll see you in my next video, which is hopefully not like 6 months in the future. I'm trying to get better at this. I think I am getting better at this. Bye.